Bam! Guess what? It's just gone 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's the 28th of October, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for What a Week That Was, where we look at the news of the week and find out what I think about it. Controversial sometimes, thought-provoking sometimes, absolute nonsense most of the time. But it's your chance also to have a word and say what you think. But please remember, everyone is watching these things these days, so please keep it clean, keep it... sorry, just watching the cat. Keep it clean, keep it nice, even though we are going to talk about stuff which isn't. It's a very fine line to tread here. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is look at the breaking news, and the first breaking news is that the Prime Minister of Israel has just held a press conference to defend his actions in Gaza. I mean, unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, I am not a supporter of Hamas, but I am a supporter of innocent humans who are currently being slaughtered by the Israelis in Gaza with this carpet bombing that they are basically doing. As I said last week, Israel has the capabilities of hitting someone in the left eye, or if they haven't, they should have, with some kind of missile or something, yet they just seem to be bombing willy and nilly. Yes, Hamas are evil, yes, Hamas did horrible things, I'm not disputing that at all, but what is going on in with Israel in Gaza and the innocent Palestinians, I think is, well, basically a war crime itself. One war crime does not mean we can have another war crime, and that's basically what's going on at the minute, and I think the whole thing is absolute out of control. It has been for hundreds, thousands of years, and I can't see it getting any better anytime soon either, but we can live in hope that it will sort itself out at some point, but I will discuss it more as we go through the week's news. Boots and Marcus Spencer's are shutting more stores. Wilko's are reopening some stores, now owned by the giant company which is Range. Some of the Wilko stores are reopening as Wilko's. Who knew? I know, shocking. NatWest is suffering massive share falls after its way it's treating people at the moment. Reminder that the clocks go back tonight, so you get an extra hour in bed, or if you're on a night shift like I was at times, you actually get an extra hour at work for no pay. However, in the spring you get an hour less for the same pay, so it kind of balances out. What else is going on? Right, I thought that there's a picture of Toys R Us. I've just scrolled around thinking that it was going to be a story saying that Toys R Us are coming back on the street, but no. Keystone are hit by open revolt. So basically, the Labour Party is about to steal a defeat from an open goal at the next general election by just completely well, being mad with each other. Anything else? I think with this being new and thingamabobby, no, that's it. That's all good. All good. That's it for the breaking news. Oh, good, Eve. Good God. See, I can't. When I'm doing breaking news, I can't see what you're writing. So, Alan Barton, hello. Luke Williams, hello. Angela, hello. I'm very under the weather tonight, Alan. Oh, I hope you're well soon. I'll get much better tonight, Elder. Yeah, I've been tweaking with the lighting and the cameras and everything, and I've moved myself and everything. Oh, it was, yeah, Sunday last week was a lot of work of moving stuff around. You know, you start a job thinking, oh, it'll only take 10 minutes, and 3.5 hours later you're not even halfway through. It was one of them. Got to sneeze, excuse me. But yeah, the lighting is considerably better today. At least I hope it is, because if it isn't, then I don't know what to do. But I've got lighting here, I've got lighting there, I've got lighting up there. So yeah, we are fully we're fully lit. Yeah, lit in it. We're lit in it. Anyway, we look at the week's news now, and we start off with Sunday. And on Sunday, quite a lot occurred. What's occurring? Where are we? Is that the right one? Yeah, it is. Blinking heck. Sorry, I was surprised it was in the right file. It never is. Yeah, so what happened on Sunday? Well, the second lot of humanitarian aid went into Gaza via the Egypt border. I mean, too little too late, blah, 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 but the Israelis have said that the flow of humanitarian aid will be constant. I'm not sure whether it has been or not. Remember Storm Bibet, even, not Bibet. Hundreds of houses are in risk of flooding in Retford. Red alert issued, and you can see there flooding's already arrived in some places in Retford. Remember, this is Sunday. Bibet's long gone. 6 postal workers killed in a missile attack on their sorting office in Ukraine. And oh no, don't forget that. Oh no, it's all going horribly wrong. I was going so well up to that point. Yeah, I mean, I don't quite understand the legitimacy in targeting a post office sorting house thing. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't see that as a military target. I mean, it's just people sending letters and bills to each other and stuff like that. But you know, I'm not Putin. Talking of which, later on we'll discuss, is Putin dead already? I know. Topic changes, eh? We can live in hope. I can think of someone else I could think of. Anyway, no, we'll come back to that in a bit. Monday came along, usually does. It's most people's first day of the week, but for me, it's my second day of the week. Why is that moving around like... Whoa! Get in position. Thank you. Yeah, so what happened on Monday? Well, Monday was an interesting day because two more hostages were released by Hamas, 2 elderly ladies, and one of the elderly ladies shook the hand of one of her hostage takers, which is the Stockholm syndrome, I can only think. Hamas say that the Israelis have killed 5,000 people in the airstrikes, and the last 24 hours from Monday had been the heaviest airstrikes so far. Tensions are mounting as well between northern Lebanese border. So yeah, things are not looking good over there. Theresa Coffey got a rough welcome in the flood-hit parts of the UK. She's the Environmental Secretary, I think it is, and she went around giving her moral support, which is about as much use as a chocolate teacup, to be honest, or even a mud broom. I mean, just completely useless. Stormbet tragically has claimed 7 lives up to this stage, and action plan has been brought into place to stop shoplifting, or at least make the punishments better. Whether or not it'll work, I don't know, but the cost of living crisis is causing people to be a lot more shoplifty, which is not a good thing, particularly food, and obviously the usual stuff like razors and everything. And whenever we talk about shoplifting, I always mention the story of when I worked in Asda in Wigan, and I was on the non-food section because obviously that's my speciality, even though I'm a chef. And I was in the cushion area, and I was sorting the cushions out, and I noticed something quite shiny in the background. So I moved all the cushions out of the way, and it was a piece of card about that big, bigger actually, but I can't fit it on the screen. So a big piece of card, which had 15 toothbrushes on it, and they was kind of covered by a piece of plastic, and it had been hidden behind the cushions. Now, the 15 toothbrushes equaled £1. It was when Asda first started doing £1 items. We had an aisle for £1 items, and this was one of them. And someone had stolen one of the 15 toothbrushes and then hidden it to hide the evidence behind the cushions. And you're thinking, Christ almighty, if they'd have asked me, I'd have given them a quid and they could have bought 15 toothbrushes without the risk of arrest. Anyway, talking of arrest, a man has been arrested on suspicion of criminal damage over the fire that occurred in the Luton car park. Now, again, I can't remember whether I mentioned this here, or whether I definitely wrote about it in the paper, but I don't know whether I mentioned it here as well. But basically, it was an electric fire, what looked like in a Range Rover or a Land Rover or something, which caught on fire, and obviously it's in a confined area. Fire and ambulance, and well, fire couldn't get there very quick, even though it's an airport. And you like think, well, it's an airport, there should be, you know, maybe what happens if a plane crashes? You've got to have a bloody fire brigade. Anyway, it was on the upper floor and it caught fire. The fire expanded, and obviously with it being in a confined space, all the cars caught fire, and that escalated. And it damaged many hundreds of cars, destroyed them in fact, and the actual structure itself. And these are not electric cars. Now, let's think about electric cars. I've already covered a few times electric cars kind of catching fire in different parts of the world. And you say, yeah, but there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of electric cars, and only a handful catch fire. It only takes one to catch fire on a multi-storey car park. It takes one cell in one battery to catch fire, to burn that entire car to shreds and destroy all the cars around it. Well, them cars are electric cars as well. Not only have you got the weakening structure of the building because of the fire, but you've also got the weight of the batteries, which are heavier than petrol engines, and plus all the toxic gases that are being given off by lithium batteries that are on fire. Not to mention the fact that they don't go out. You can't spray water on them, so they're going to burn and burn and burn. So they could burn for hours, days, weeks, months, God knows, that many cars in a confined space. I'm probably talking about 10 or 15 years down the line if we go down this ridiculous route of electric cars everywhere. But that's another reason why, though, if you think about it, electric cars are not the future. If you want to know more about it, then you'll have to look back at some of my earlier things where I do go on a rant about it. Normally at this point, Alan, although he's unwell today, chips in and says electric cars are brilliant, I'm going to get one or something similar, just to wind me up. But I'm not getting wound up today because, I don't want to upset Alan. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, that was a little electric fire in a petrol stroke diesel engine car that caused this chaos, which was exactly the same as what happened in Liverpool, if you remember, a year or two ago, near the Albert Dock, when that multi-storey car park caught fire. They think that was an electric fault with a normal standard engine. But yeah, people keep telling us that electric cars are the way forward. No, they are not. I mean, you think that many electric cars all burning together, we could probably burn a hole to the centre of the world. Have a new volcano in Luton or wherever. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about regarding that kind of thing. Yes, I do. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So where are we up to? We're still on Monday, aren't we? Yeah. So that is it. I'm sorry, Silence. What? What's up, Silence? It's me cat. No, she's made it. She wanted to jump on the windowsill, but I've closed the curtain, and she was trying to figure out how to get on the windowsill. It's good, isn't it? Christ. The way forward. Yes, they are. See, I told you. It's exact. Even ill, he's still coming up with this nonsense. But he doesn't believe it himself, so it's all right. Tuesday came along. It normally does after Monday. At least for now, anyway. And what happened on Tuesday? Well, the UN General Secretary said that Israel and Hamas are under criticism, or he's criticising them, sorry, and he condemned the blockade of southern Gaza, and Israel have told him to resign because Israel, obviously, are always right no matter what. I mean, I'm getting a little bit fed up with Israel at the minute. Now, I ain't anti-Semitic, I don't care about religion at all, but if people are behaving badly, regardless of the situation, they are not good people. And what is going on for the innocent people in Gaza is beyond a war crime as far as I'm concerned. What Hamas does is a war crime, criminal, unreprehensible, disgusting. I mean, you can't say Hamas, yeah, need to be destroyed. I get it. But you don't destroy someone by destroying everyone in the area. Yes, Hamas use people as human shields. Yes, they go into hospitals and use buildings. That's why you go in and do it. You don't just bomb everyone. All Israel are doing are killing people and killing parents of children who will grow up hating Israel as much as Hamas is. They're actually making the situation worse. And the world is bending over backwards to congratulate Israel and support Israel. I'm like, no, you cannot take away electricity, water, and petrol and diesel and all that kind of stuff, as well as food, from an entire population of 2 million people when there's probably maybe 100,000, I'm being generous, who are in Hamas. You are punishing, it's a war crime. End of. If it was any other country, then everyone would be screaming to stop it. But no, because it's Israel, for some reason, everyone's like, yeah, we're standing behind you, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing the other. And I'm not having it. I don't think Israel are as innocent as what they're making. It's not got anything to do with the religion, it's got to do with the actions they are doing, using very sophisticated weapons in a very unsophisticated way. And it is basically medieval war crime. End of story. Except it's not, because I'll have to come back to it later, because it is the main story of the week. Now, you can agree or disagree with me, that's fine, but that is my opinion. And like I say, if it was the other way around, if it was Hamas, the Palestinians, not Hamas, don't have any support for Hamas, but if it was the Palestinians blockading Israel and doing the same thing, I'd be saying exactly the same thing. If it was France doing it to Spain, I'd be saying the same thing. If it was Spain doing it to Portugal, I'd be saying the same thing. If it was us doing it to Scotland, I'd be saying the same thing. You cannot, under any circumstances, punish a whole country and millions of people for the disgusting, despicable actions of a few. Have we not learnt that? Have we not learnt that that doesn't work in history? I give you world wars. I give you the bloody illegal Gulf War that we did with Bush and Blair, both of whom should be in prison for war crimes themselves, for starting wars that they didn't need to start. The whole thing is disgusting from start to finish. And I don't think this is going to be even anywhere near the end of it. That's the terrifying thing. I reckon in 100 years' time there'll be someone, or many people, saying, what the hell is going on in that region? It might not be Israel, it might not be Gaza in 100 years. It might be something else, but there's still going to be conflict in that area, because there has been for centuries. But at the moment, I don't think Israel is... I felt sorry for Israel initially, but I think they are really, really, really doing this and handling this badly. And why everyone is supporting them, I have no idea. I'm not saying I go on a march for the Palestinians. No, I wouldn't do that. But I certainly think that what and the way that Israel is handling this is beyond despicable. Anyway, on a lighter note, the cap on the bankers' bonuses has been removed by the UK government's advisors. It's not the government who've done it, apparently. It's the people who look at the sector, and they've said that if we want London to be popular for people to come and work and earn lots and lots of money, then we need to lift the cap on the bankers' bonuses. And it kind of makes sense. If everyone else is giving them unlimited bonuses, and it's not us paying it, it's the banks paying it, for them doing well and earning millions and millions and millions of pounds, and if they can earn millions and millions and millions of pounds, then in theory we should be getting considerable millions of pounds worth of taxes off them for their profits that they're making. So it all seems to make sense to a degree, although I see why people don't like it. But yeah, I think it's not as bad as what people are making out. I'm burning you, so I'm just going to stay quiet in the background, can't concentrate. I bet Silence's battery, she better not be. God. There's also sad news as well that Bill Kenwright has died at the age of 78. He was the chairman of someone big at Everton for a considerable length of time, but weirdly, I remember him when he was in Coronation Street, which is even more bizarre, there with Rita. I don't think he ever married her, or maybe he did. Or was he the son of Betty? He might have been the son of Betty. I don't know who he was. But anyway, he was in Coronation Street, and anyway, he sadly passed away, like I say, at the age of 78, which isn't really an age these days. Wednesday came along, again, usually does after Tuesday. In fact, it always does after Tuesday, except when it doesn't, in which case it hasn't. And the Israeli Prime Minister defends the bombardment and bombing of Gaza, and says that a ground invasion is imminent, and is proud thousands of his people, oh no, thousands of terrorists are dead. Now, I'm not exactly sure there's thousands of terrorists in Hamas, but there are definitely thousands of people dead. At least he's proud of what he's done. I mean, at least he's standing by what he's done. Unlike Keir Starmer. Okay, not exactly the same thing at all, but Keir Starmer changes his mind quicker than anyone I've ever met in my entire life. He doesn't stand by anything he said for longer than about 45 seconds. He's like a pig in goldfish. And this guy's going to be running the country this time next year. It's terrifying. It really is. Why can't the British people see that this guy is a nonsense and shouldn't be allowed to be in power? He's a knight of the realm. He's not a Labour person. He's a multimillionaire. He's not a working class person. Labour are no longer working class. If there was an election tomorrow, as much as I hate them, and trust me I do, I would vote Tory. Because at least we know how crap they are. And let's be honest, Rishi, despite all his faults, is the best Prime Minister we've had out of the last three. So, it's not saying much. But I think I had this conversation a while ago, actually, and then I worked out he's probably the best we've had in the last 12 or something stupid like that, because they've all been crap. But Keir Starmer, yeah, he's well up for all this woke nonsense, so he probably will make some of that law. He wants to get rid of the queues of all these immigrants. So what would he do? The easiest way of doing it is just make everyone who's in here, in this country, make them citizens of the UK. Phew, the queue's gone. No, absolute nonsense guy. Anyway, where are we on? We're on Wednesday. Why have we got him on anyway? Keir Starmer under pressure. As many councillors have threatened to resign and have resigned over his stance over the Gaza-Israel situation. Sean J, bring back Boris. Well, he's going to GB News, but more of that later. I might end up talking to Boris, who knows? Although I don't ring GB News, to be fair. And I can't imagine that Boris is going to be having a phone in on GB News. Anyway, that was Wednesday. Keir Starmer definitely putting defeat, or grabbing defeat of a shoo-in election, which is great, don't get me wrong. A shoo-in election, he's grabbing defeat by having this weird stance over what's going on. I just don't understand the man at all. Oh, you're supposed to be quiet, Alan. Don't go agreeing with Sean. Jeez. God, as soon as people start agreeing with Sean, then we know we're in trouble. Could have a pint of Guinness. Well, not a pint, but a glass of. So, Thursday came along, and troops from Israel, whoa, go away, I don't want that one. Troops from Israel overnight go through the barriers into Gaza. It's basically a preliminary exploration and check and whatnot to see what is going on. But there are thousands and thousands of troops on the border. Now I have less problem with Gaza, Gaza being invaded by land vehicles than I have with the random bombing of Gaza. At least the land vehicles can pinpoint who they want to get a lot easier than what the... I mean, you've seen these videos of these entire blocks of buildings just collapsing, and they say, oh yeah, but we tell people to move. Well, of course you tell people to move. You have to tell people to move, but that doesn't give you the right to destroy everything of these innocent people. Now you send the tanks in, you get down them tunnels, you kill as many Hamas as you want. That is fine, as long as you don't kill as many people. It's been going on for centuries, this war. We must be getting to the end of it soon. Yeah, right. Not in our great grandkids' lifetimes, I don't think, unfortunately. Now, something I've been avoiding deliberately for a considerable length of time when I'm doing US news is shootings. However, we had there's been a lot of mass shootings, but this one's really caught the imagination of the world. This was a gentleman who, I'm not going to name him, who went into a bowling alley, as you can see there, thanks for playing, and Skittles and everything on the window, and then went to a restaurant as well, I think in a different town, and just something to do with deaf people, but he murdered 18 people and injured around about 40 with a semi-automatic weapon, because you're allowed to have them in America. And the Americans don't get that we look at them and think, what the hell are you doing? Anyway, the gunman was on the run and the police had no idea where he was. Oh, ad. Sorry. Ad. I try and see a little thing at the bottom so I can see when the ad's coming. I can stop it, but I was too busy ranting. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Tell me when you're back. And I shall carry on regardless. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. How long's are the adverts? How long's are the adverts? What? Ah, I covered up the thing that tells me about the adverts. Don't. Right, the adverts must be gone now. So yeah, quick recap. A gunman has basically gone round. It's gone now. A gunman has gone round Maine in America and killed 18 people, injured over 40, and yeah, 18 people and injured over 40, and is on the run. People gone out for a night out and everything. Funny thing is, you can walk around with an AR-15, but you can't walk around with a chainsaw because that would be dangerous. You know what? That sounds about right. Talking of allegedly dangerous, Crispin Blunt MP admitted on Twitter X that he was the MP arrested on suspicion of rape and having controlled substances on him. No charge has been brought. He's been released on bail pending further investigation. And then we've got the biggest fools at the moment, which is Just Stop Oil, who decided for reality's sake, must stop oil. What? For heath's sake? Anyway, these nutters went to the museum in London with a massive fossilised skeleton of I don't know what it was, but it's a huge dinosaur, and decided to spray it with powder to get their point across, just to teach the dinosaurs a lesson. Don't you go turning into oil, you dinosaurs. Well, that one didn't turn into oil, did it? So we've not burnt that one, we've not used that one. That one is still a dinosaur, and you've still painted it because you're fucking mad. You haven't got fucking brain cell between you, any of you. Just Stop Oil, as we saw last week, or just let's just put them all on an aeroplane and fly them to China and get them to just stop oil there, shall we? And see how they get on. I mean, we don't care about the Mimaus, so not the Mimaus. What they call the people in China who are being persecuted. That is an actual law in Ohio. Oh right, the chainsaw thing. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? But no, absolute nonsense, these fools, and they just make themselves look stupid, beyond stupid, beyond stupid. I mean, and they're either old fogies who've got nothing better to do, or poor little rich kids who haven't, like I said, got a brain cell between them. The sooner they all disappear, the better. Maybe we should, no, maybe not. Anyway. Sorry. Meanwhile, the search goes on for the gunman in Maine. The police have no idea where this guy is. He's just completely vanished, and everyone's on alert, everyone's panicking, and rightly so, as far as I'm concerned. A victim's wife said that the gun laws have got to change, but they won't. Boris Johnson. That's not Boris Johnson. Have you seen the video of Just Stop Oil stopping a guy from charging his Tesla because it's not real electric car, according to them? That wouldn't surprise me at all, Sean. I mean, I've got absolutely zero tolerance for anyone in Just Stop Oil or any of those ridiculous things. I mean, yeah, it's all well and good saying we, should protect the planet, but as I've said a gazillion times, it doesn't matter what the UK does. We are not going to change the perceived global warming that's going on. We are too insignificant as a landmass and as a contributor to the perceived global warming situation. That's exactly the right word, Alan, who's meant to be keeping quiet because he's unwell, but they are idiots. You are right. Talking of which, Boris, bumbling Boris is back, and he's going to be on GB News, which will probably be the most watched news-related TV show, at least for the first couple of episodes, until people realise that he's just bumbling on about God knows what. But yeah, absolute tool is going to be on GB News, which I do a lot with Talk TV, sort of. Refer to GB News as the other place. Bet they do. Well, they do. That's what I said. Meanwhile, Gaza is still being carpet bombed by Israel. This is today, and pro-Palestinian protests or rallies have gone on in various different cities around the world, including New York, Paris, London, Manchester. Pretty much the majority of cities, I would have thought, around the world are supporting this. And the Jews keep going on about people hitting on the Jews and hating the Jews and being anti-Semitic and all that kind of stuff. But like I've said before, for me it's not about religion. I couldn't care less. I'm a devout atheist. But if people want to believe in whatever they want to believe in, that is fine with me. If you want to believe that penguins rule the world, that's entirely up to you. That's as legitimate as any god that people can think of in my eyes. But again, that's only my opinion. But the crime being committed against the Palestinians and the world in uprising against it, the majority of people, yet the governments are still supporting the Israelis. It makes no sense, and it's only going to make it worse. It shouldn't do, because the Jewish people around the world have a right to live their lives innocently and like everyone else. But the problem you've got is, because of what the government is doing, and there was even an interview I saw yesterday with the former Prime Minister of Israel, and he was saying exactly the same thing as Netanyahu, or whatever he's called. It's absolute nonsense what they're doing, and it's just despicable. And yeah, like I've said numerous times, what Hamas did, Hamas are terrorists, full stop. Hamas need to be eradicated. Yeah, they need to be disbanded, they need to be destroyed, yes. But the way Israel are doing it, they're just winding everyone up around the world. And the people who are going to suffer are not going to be the government of Israel. It's going to be the innocent people around the world who are going to suffer, because people will hate on them. Even though the majority of them will probably agree what's going on, but a lot of them won't agree what's going on. But it won't matter. There's going to be a lot of Jewish hate crime through no fault of their own, because of the way their government is handling a horrendous situation that they find themselves in. I just like Sean said earlier, it's going to go on for years and years and years, and the sad thing is it will go on for years and years and years. Good grief, Sholeg Bades, a long time no see. Crikey, that's a blast from the past. Back in Maine, the gunman has been found dead in woods with self-inflicted gunshot wounds, which is good news in a way, in the fact that he can't kill anyone else, but bad news in the fact that they can't find out what triggered him, excuse the pun, to actually go around and murdering innocent people in 2 different sites in the Maine state. And then the breaking news tonight was Benjamin Netanyahu, who did a press conference and basically just said what Hamas did to us was a war crime and inhumane. Tick, 100% agree with that. What we're doing is valid. And I'm like, no, it's not. What you're doing is a war crime. You cannot under any circumstances, stop power, water, food going to millions of people. That is a war crime. Full stop. Bombing people, literally bombing cities, is a war crime. We've been going on at President Putin for ages about his war crimes in Ukraine. So what's the difference between this? And like I said, if it was flipped the other way, if it was the Palestinians attacking Israel, I would say exactly the same thing. If it was, apologies if you've been here from the beginning, but I said this at the beginning, but people have joined obviously halfway through. If it was Spain blockading Portugal, because obviously the only way on land to get to Portugal is through Spain. So if Spain and Portugal fell out and Spain decided to blockade Portugal and then bomb it, that would be a war crime. I mean, I don't understand why the world is bending over backwards, and not all of it to be fair, to support this guy, because this guy is as much a war criminal as Putin. Hamilton Craven Lewis, good evening from the Welly Federation Republic. Good evening, Welly Federation Republic. I'm in Nigeria. All right, okay. I'm in Nigeria for Christmas. Oh, nice. That sounds nice. Do they still have Father Christmas there with a big woolly coat on? Because it would melt in Nigeria. And they have Christmas cards with snow on, because I've noticed in Australia they have snow scenes. It's like it's summer in Australia for Christmas. Anyway, we digress. We're talking about Netanyahu and his handling of this, and then his defence of it, saying that what I'm doing is right. What you're doing is exactly the same as what other war criminals have done in the past. And I just, my brain cannot comprehend how the British government, the American government, a lot of European governments don't get it. That's why you've not heard from me for a long time. Oh, that would explain a lot. But no, that guy is a war criminal. End of. If you're killing children, like I've said before, they've got the ability to hit someone in the left eye with a missile, but all they're doing is just dropping bombs on buildings. I mean, come on. The land thing that they're going in, the war ready. The world is speaking out for the Palestinians. I'm not speaking out for Hamas, don't get me wrong. Hamas are terrorists, they need to be removed, just like Al Qaeda and all the other ones. But the way it's been done is wrong. The way it's been done is a war crime. Like I said, they've got the... I mean, Israel has been at war for that long. Their weapons are some of the best weapons in the world because they are continually at war with someone or other. So they've developed all this stuff, and yet you watch them and they're proud of the fact they're levelling Gaza City. I'm like, for Christ's sake, there's people in there, there's children in there, there's elderly in there, there's disabled in there, none of whom are in Hamas, who are being killed. Okay, there are terrorists being killed as well, but go in there and kill them yourselves, or use the actual little bits of little drone things that you've got that can actually go in there and get the individuals. Go, you know, go fly through the window of the house and blow their house up or whatever. I don't have a problem with that, but what they're doing I have a major problem with, and it is, as far as I'm concerned, a war crime. Anyway. Yeah, I genuinely don't understand where we are coming from saying we support them. Anyway, let's move on, because it's time for what's going on in America. There's some stuff going on in America. I'm not covering gun crime in America. Which means, to be fair, this week, because all they've covered is the Palestine war and Maine, there's not a lot of news from America this week. So, we will start off with, is this New York's most haunted Halloween neighbourhood? Well, no, because ghosts don't exist. Next question. Sorry. It was a bit harsh, wasn't it? I do apologise for being a bit harsh there. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Palestinians need aid. Our government is a joke. Here come the guns. No guns. We've already done the guns in America. See, the thing is though, if people clip this in a certain way, they'll be able to say that I'm being racist and all that, but you have to watch the whole thing to realise that I'm not being racist. I'm just being humanist and saying that humans should be allowed to live, if they are innocent of stuff certainly, without any risk to life or injury. It's a very frozen freezer, I've just noticed. Wonder how Trump will deal with the Israel and Ukraine issues. Well, I reckon he can probably solve, if he can solve Ukraine in a day, I'm pretty sure Trump can solve Israel in about half an hour. If ghosts don't exist, what's that behind you? Oh, it's a good one. Like that one. Well done. Don't forget, if you get an advert and I don't see it coming up, just let me know and I'll stop until the advert's over. Oh God, are my eyes gone or what? There we go. Home is where the horror is. Ghoulish decor abounds across New York, but nowhere more so than the 5 boroughs that Cobble Hill and Carroll Gardens. The adjacent Brooklyn neighbourhood has become the city's de facto Halloween headquarters, with residents going all out on spooky displays on their on their brownstones. Brownstones? Oh, that's their brownstones. That's where they have the steps coming down. It's the bit in between the steps coming down from the different houses. But yeah, I mean, I love Halloween to a degree. It's a bit of fun and all that, but yeah, pardon me, ghosts don't exist. A bear cub runs wild in Alaskan grocery store. A black bear cub in search of the bare necessities wandered into an Alaskan grocery store, giving shoppers quite a scare. 2 wildlife troopers and Petersburg Police Department were called to the trading union IGA in Mikhoff Island to corral the animal on Tuesday. As you can see there, it's only a little bear, so they could corral it. If it was a big bear, it would corral them to the mortuary. Alleged Ukrainian plot to kill 77 Russian pilots with poison cake and whiskey has been foiled. An audacious plot, allegedly conducted by Ukrainian intelligence operatives to wipe out dozens of Russian pilots with poison cake and whiskey, was foiled at the last minute, according to a report. The incident took place at the Armanov Higher Military Aviation School in Russia's Kindersar region. The elite flight school, located in the city of Amivor, was hosting a banquet in honour of its alumni. Alumni, that's the one. Yeah, it kind of takes you back to not Valkyrie, but something along them lines, doesn't it? But yeah, it didn't work. A worker caught on video peeing into a tank at a Chinese Tishangtaya beer factory. Stomachs are churning across Chinese beer lovers after a worker was caught peeing into a tank of ingredients at the nation's Tagoro beer factory in a disgusting video. The clip, which went viral on China's microblogging site Weibo, shows a man in uniform and a hard hat clambering into a container believed to hold raw ingredients for the beer and urinating inside. You gotta go, you gotta go. You gotta go, you gotta go. So I've just had my Chinese oddly tasting Guinness. It's a lot cheaper than the normal Guinness. Hurricane Otis weakens to Category 4 storm while flash floods batter southern Mexico. So we were having at this point Babette, but Hurricane Otis was destroying properties in Mexico, but had dropped down to a Category 4 storm. A sick note found on a body of Hamas terrorists calls for beheadings and removal of hearts. A handwritten note found on the body of a Hamas terrorist encouraged the jihadists to decapitate heads and remove their hearts and livers of their Israeli victims, Israel's military said. Now, I mean, whenever there's a war, and I've said this many, many times before, there's a thing called propaganda. So, if we go back to the Ukraine war, if you think about what the British say, what the Americans say, the Europeans say about the Ukraine war, you take it with a pinch of salt. You're like, yeah, right, okay, whatever. If Ukraine say something about it, you take it with a pot of salt. If Russia says something about it, you take it with I don't know, a truck full of salt. If China say anything, you take it with a salt mine. Israel, 2 salt mines at the moment. That's how much disrespect I've got for the government of Israel. No issue with the normal people of Israel, it's just the government and the military. I don't believe a word they say. I mean, a handwritten note, how can you prove who it was written by? You can't. It's absolute nonsense. As they say, you don't buy beer, you rent it. That's true. Car's rubber bumper leads to bomb threat with schools put on lockdown and businesses closed for hours. A Tennessee man's DIY rubber bumper caused false alarm, bomb threat, and led to local businesses closing and nearby schools being sent into lockdown for hours. Police in Murfreesboro were called to a First Watch restaurant on Tuesday about a bomb being strapped to a car in the parking lot of the health-minded cafe. Yeah, I must admit it does look rather suspicious, but you think if you're making a car bomb, you'd have the bomb on the inside of the car so people wouldn't see it. I mean, I'm not, I'm just saying. Escape artist Toy Toys reunited with family 3 years after fleeing. A missing escape artist Toy Toys that vanished more than 3 years ago was reunited with her family after she was found just 5 miles from her Florida home. 3 years to go 5 miles. The incredible outcome was kick-started when Fulham County deputies noticed an unusual looking Toy Toys crawling away across a highway 30 miles west of Gainesville. The officers scooped up the £60 Toy Toys and with the help of professionals identified it as the African one that had escaped from the family 3 years earlier. 3 years to go 5 miles. Unbelievable. 24 American soldiers injured in drone attack on US bases in Iraq and Syria. At least 24 American military personnel based in Iraq and Syria were injured in drone attacks that officials said were launched by Iran-backed proxy groups. It's the largest attack carried out against the US base for a considerable length of time. They're only minor injuries, and they think that this could be the start of World War III. How many starts of World War III do we need? Yeah, obviously not many. Hamas used landline phones in Gaza tunnels to evade Israel intelligence for 2 years while plotting the attack. A small cell of Hamas, a small cell, not hundreds of thousands of people, not tens of thousands of people, not thousands of people, a small cell, Israel, are you listening? Of Hamas terrorists used old school landline phones specially installed in the spiderweb of tunnels under Gaza to evade Israel intelligence forces for 2 years while plotting the group's horrific October the 7th attacks. The hardwired phone system allowed Hamas to communicate without being detected by Israel or the United States. Now that kind of makes sense because we know about the tunnels that Hamas have built in Gaza, and then to run landline through it, i.e. just a cable and connect a phone either end, means you can communicate for the full length of the tunnels without using any networks on the above ground, or certainly without using the phone networks. So it does seem a plausible reason for it. But as it says there, a small cell of Hamas terrorists, not the entire Palestine population. Oh, advert's gone. Well, I think you got the gist of what I was talking about on that one, so we'll move on. New York City can't deny gun licenses based on applicants' moral character, a federal judge rules. Well, that seems safe then, doesn't it? A federal judge ruled that New York City guns licensing regime, which allows city officials to turn down applicants for firearms based on their moral character, violates the Second Amendment. So if I say I'm buying a gun so I can go and kill people because I don't like them, that is my moral stand. I can buy a gun and then go and kill people and it's legal. I mean, America simply sort your gun laws out. To be fair, that was before the shooting in Maine. Over 545,000 New Yorkers left the state in 2022, headed for Florida, Texas, and further, a Census Bureau has said. It's an empire state of decline, beset by high taxes and quality of life woes. 498 New Yorkers left for other states in 2022, according to the US Census data. Top destinations include Florida, the most popular choice, followed by New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, as well as more distant states like Texas and California. Now, there are unsubstantiated rumours that one of the reasons why is because of the gun crime in New York. Because when we were covering gun crime, near enough every shooting was in New York. Deep blue California lost 817 residents in 2022, with many exiting to red states, Texas and Florida. The California dreaming of somewhere else to live. The nation's exemplar of liberal governances continue to shed residents at a dizzying pace in 2022, with 817,000 golden staters moving to other states, including 150,000 to red regions like Texas and Florida. Hi Matt, you're all right. Don't worry about it. Unbelievable! Can't believe it. Some people just turn up an hour late. I mean, I just don't understand what's the point. I mean, Yeah, don't worry, Matt. You're okay. Nice to have you on board. Hi, Rongan as well. Hope you're good. I've already done that one. I don't want to do that one again. That was horrible. Where are we? There we are. Have I done? Yeah, I've done all them. New Jersey dad sues school district over a transgender policy that allows children to change names and gender without parental consent. A New Jersey father is suing his local school district for adopting a policy that does not notify parents when a student identifies transgender and changes their name or preferred pronoun, calling the protocol butt of a whack. Butt of whack. Frederick Short argued that the suit, filed earlier this month in federal court, was against his child's best interests. I was just saying hello to everyone. That's okay. As I've said before, this transgender, particularly for pre-teens, just have a rain shower, better late than never though. Yeah, absolutely. This transgender nonsense that's going on in, particularly in the under-teens thing. I was watching a thing just before I came up, actually. It was James Whale on Talk TV, and he was talking to an activist woman who's all for women's rights and all that kind of stuff. And he asked a couple of questions, and to be fair, she didn't give the answers I was expecting. For example, are all transgender women gay men? Which is something I never even thought of. And she said, for our experience, no. Although some do not like the thought of being gay, so they go through the whole rigmarole of becoming transgender so that people don't think of them as being gay, but that's a minority of them. But she also said that she doesn't agree with people changing their gender before they're in their 20s, because as we all know, because we've all gone through it, up to a certain age, you've no idea who you are, what you want to be, where you want to go. And now people are chucking in this confusion of transgenderism. It's absolutely ridiculous. And she said it's bizarre, and this is a good point I've never even thought of before. It's bizarre how you are not allowed to have a tattoo until you're 18, but even at 13 you can agree to have puberty blockers, or you can agree to go through transgender transition, but you can't have a tattoo. Now, a tattoo is for life, so what the hell is transgenderism? And we had this rather long discussion a few weeks ago with someone, and it was, I wouldn't say it got heated, but it was interesting discussion about you've got to be at least 18 before you can decide to become transgender. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because we don't know who we are until a certain age. And even then we probably don't know who we are. I mean, there are people, even my age, who don't know who they are. So it just seems bizarre that you can have a tattoo. You can only have a tattoo when you're over 18, because that's the law, but you can have biological changing drugs that affect your body for the rest of your life. It's weird. It's just very peculiar, and yeah, I think the whole thing should stop for anyone under the age of 16, preferably under the age of 20. Yeah, he's. Yeah, I agree. Referendum on every issue, Rongan. It's a case of, as I've said before, um, we've got these people whom are basically telling us what we have to do, what we should do, but they've not been elected by anyone. They are a minority of a minority. Most LGBT plus people don't like these activists. So the LGBT plus community is a fraction of the population of the planet, and the people who are causing all this bother is a fraction of the LGBT plus community. So it makes no sense that the whole world is bending over backwards for these people. And these people, as I've said before, if you're giving puberty blockers to pre-teens, obviously, then you are a child sex criminal. You are a paedophile. You are a nonce, because you are affecting their sexual organs more so than a paedophile fiddling with someone. If I fiddled with a kid in their nether regions, I wouldn't be. It'd mess with their heads, obviously, and cause them mental health issues and everything. But physically, it wouldn't harm them long term. Whereas if you give people chemicals to stop puberty or to change, estrogen or all that kind of stuff, that affects them for life. Plus, completely fucks up their head. Never mind anything else. So I think anyone who messes with any child in any way that involves particularly sexual organs should be treated as a paedophile. Full stop. End of story. That's doctors, that's charity workers, that's social workers, that's people who should not be in the position they are in, brainwashing children who are very confused about their own sexuality or their own identity by making them into something that these people want them to become, but may not be in the long term the best interest for that child. Yes, you're right, Matt Francis. I'm keeping warm, best and dry I can, and I think it's silly kids can identify as a cat. I was on about penguins before, but yeah, it's just ridiculous. It really is the situation we are in. I just hope that in preferably 2 years' time, but it's more likely going to be 10, 15, or 20 years' time, we come back. People look back at this era and think, what the were people doing listening to these absolute loons? There's no other word for it. These people are dangerous. These people are messing with people's lives. We are building ourselves a mental health crisis for the future, and no one can see it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And these people are getting paid money to do this. They're getting supported by the government. It's just absolutely wrong. People do have physical problems. Yep, addictions, mental health, high blood pressure, suicide, and the rest. Yeah, of course, everyone's got issues. But what I'm saying is, we are adding to that with this ridiculous notion that if someone's, if it's a girl and she's a bit of a tomboy, oh, you must be a man, really. So let's give you all these drugs and let's do this and that to your body and operate on you and do all this nonsense. No, if you're a tomboy, you're a tomboy. And most tomboys grow out of it. Some don't. Some might become lesbians, whatever. Some might decide in the future that they do want to trans into a man. And also, if you're effeminate as a boy, if you like playing with dolls or whatever, again, may well grow out of it. May not. May end up being on RuPaul's Drag Race. Who knows? But let them decide in their own time. Don't force your preconceptions or your perversions on an innocent child who doesn't conform to the way you want them to conform. And that's what people are doing. And we are, as a nation, we are supporting these people doing that, and it's wrong. It's wrong. We should not be messing with children in any way, shape or form. Yeah? End of. Right, can we move on to disgusting stuff now? You might have just... Man dies after choking on live octopus dish with wriggling tentacles. If you're squeamish, you should have turned off a minute ago, sorry. A South Korean man has died of a heart attack after choking on live octopus dish with wriggling tentacles that were served as a local delicacy. The 82-year-old could not be revived after he choked on the dish known as san nakij and suffered cardiac arrest. Bring back the old comedies, only fools and horses and stuff. Yeah. Or wriggling tentacles in your throat. There's a market for that in China. Biden scoffs at Hamas. Gaza death toll claim before lashing out when pressed on American hostages. You know, that sound gentleman, Biden. Sorry, actually, if you are squeamish and you were okay with the wriggling tentacles in your throat, I do apologise, not warning you that a picture of President Biden was coming up, which is obviously far worse. President Biden said that he doesn't believe the Hamas Gaza government claim that 5,000 people have died in Israel's airstrikes since October the 7th, after growing flustered when pressed on efforts to free American hostages before fighting escalates. I have no notion that Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people were killed. Well, yeah, we've seen the videos of entire blocks coming down in one lump. You telling me maybe not 5,000 people, but thousands of people have not died? It's just, it's just wrong on many levels. What? Rodney is in Fraser. I know they brought Fraser back. I didn't know they stuck Rodney in it. Biker learns lesson after 140 mile an hour crash between trucks, cars, and it resulted in 20 broken bones. A biker nearly lost his life while trying to pull a daredevil stunt on a busy Florida highway that resulted in fracturing more than 20 bones. The unnamed biker, who goes by the name Street Demon PC, posted the scary footage on YouTube, showing the moment he's knocked unconscious after trying to zip through semi-trucks and cars at 140 miles an hour. Video of the wild phenomena starts out showing the motorcyclist cruising. I mean, people like that who do videos like that, they might be skilled motorcyclists. The problem I've got is, and it's the same problem when people go in abandoned buildings for views, is the fact that children watch that and they think, oh, we can do that 140 mile an hour, whizzing in and out of cars and cutting everyone up and everything, and it's fun. I'll do it, but they haven't got the skill. I mean, he didn't have the skill either, to be fair. But they haven't got the skill. They end up dying or killing other people. And it's the same with people who go in abandoned buildings. The people who go in the abandoned buildings and film it, they've got the gear on, the gas masks and all that kind of stuff. And one hopes that they've got some idea of structural integrity of the building they're going into. Whereas kids go in, underdressed for the situation, i.e. no mask, probably just shorts and t-shirts on and all that. They go running around, chucking stuff around. There could be asbestos in there, whatever. And I think people who do videos like this should have their videos taken off because they are inspiring people to think they can do what they can't do because they haven't got the knowledge to do what they think they can do. But because they've seen it on YouTube, they think anyone can do it. Is he a millionaire? He probably is a millionaire. I don't know who we're talking about that. I'm on about the cyclist. If he's a YouTuber, he probably is a millionaire, yes. Screams for help heard months before missing 29-year-old's body was found in a Nebraska chimney. The body of a missing man was found inside a Nebraska chimney last week, more than 1 month after mysterious screams for help were heard inside the building. The victim was identified as 29-year-old Zachariah Andrews, who had an arrest warrant issued against him more than 2 weeks after he vanished. Now, there was an episode, getting on for 10 years ago now, because I was in Pemberton at the time, so yeah, maybe longer than 10 years ago now. Would it be? I don't know. Around about 10 years ago anyway, where a guy tried to break into the Tesco Express in Pemberton in Wigan, and he got stuck in the chimney, and he basically was naked apart from a pair of boxer shorts, and he was stuck in there all night, and it was only his screams for help that alerted the police and everyone, and they had to kind of break him out of the chimney breast. He kind of got onto the roof somehow and decided to go down the chimney to get into the shop to nick whatever he was nicking, but got stuck halfway down. True story. I was talking about Rodney. Right, okay. Back the millionaire bit. Warning, disturbing image. Trump storms out of courtroom after judge calls him to the stand and then fines him $10,000 for violating gag order. Donald Trump stormed out of his New York civil fraud trial after being called to stand for a surprise hearing, which the judge scolded him for not credible, and fined him $10,000 for breaching a gag order by maligning the court's lead law clerk. Don't do it again, or it will be worse, the Supreme Judge said to the 77-year-old ex-president of the United States of America. Oh, sorry, warning, President Biden. Biden says US is willing to fight China on behalf of the Philippines following the ship collision near disputed islands. And I'm like, what ship collision? And where have the Philippines come from out of this? If it was Taiwan, yeah. Philippines? President Biden said on Wednesday that the US military is willing to fight nuclear-armed China on behalf of the Philippines after ships from the two Asian countries collided near a disputed, unpopulated island on the South China Sea. The United States defense agreement with the Philippines is ironclad. Any attack on the Filipino aircraft, vessels or armed forces will be treated swiftly by the United States of America, he mumbled and bumbled and faffed around about. Hamas official storms out of BBC interview when pressed on slaughtering Israeli civilians. I wouldn't even give Hamas the time of day, never mind interviewing them. But anyway, a top Hamas official stormed out of a TV interview after he was asked how his bloodthirsty terrorist group justifies slaughtering innocent Israeli citizens in their sleep. Gaza Hamed, a member of Hamas political bureau, used the interview with the BBC's to try and downplay the October the 7th massacre of at least 1,400 mostly civilians, including burned babies, etc. Better have one of my medical ensure drinks and end up ill else. Bleedy Things was in hospital last 3 weeks with my Crohn's disease, missed half of summer. Oh God, that's not good. Well, hope you get well soon as well. We've got a lot of ill people today. Kremlin denies absurd claim that Putin died and a body double is being used as part of a new coup. Now, we've been talking about body doubles for a long while. I'm getting old now, so I'm getting to the age of Putin-ish. So I'm getting the jowls, I'm getting the wrinkly neck, and I'm getting the weird little marks that you get on your body here, there, and everywhere. Because that's what happens when you get older. We're not, as a species, designed to live much after 50. Because obviously things have got better medically, but what other animal, what other species can fix itself or get fixed by other members of the same species? So humanity is living longer than it should do, which isn't helping the population, let's be honest, but still, we're not at quite the Logan's Run stage yet. When you reach the age of 34, you go to a higher plane, i.e. they kill you. Hence why Logan ran in Logan's Run. If you've not seen it, it's worth watching the TV show and or the movie. Let the Israelis live in Wales. That's the wrong thing to say. Anyway, we've been going on about it, and the jowls have changed a little bit, and the hairline changes a little bit and all that, and you're like, well, but you can put weight on, you can lose weight, you can have drugs. Like steroids, they change your face, don't they? They can make you fatter or thinner or whatever and all that kind of thing. So maybe it's body doubles. But now the Kremlin are saying that it's absurd that Putin is dead and his body double is being used as part of the new coup. The Kremlin was forced to issue an astounding denial after a widely shared report claims President Vladimir Putin had died at home and that a body double was being used as part of an attempted coup. The popular Telegram channel, General SVR, which purports to be run by a former Russian intelligence officer with insider information from the Kremlin, has claimed the warmongering president has died. What about AI not being able to tell real from fake? I think it's been around longer. I hope this stream is real. Well, yeah, a lot of people wish it wasn't. A lot of people wish I wasn't real as well. Hello, Wigan Council, if you're watching, hope you're well. New York, this, who says love is dead? Oh, look at this. This is the most romantic thing ever. A New York City rat drags a donut across a subway track to share with rodent date. A sweet video shows. Sweet, get it? Donut, sweet. A sweet treat for a pair of squeakhearts. A New York City rat was spotted dragging a glazed donut along the subway track of a low Manhattan station to share with a rodent friend. The tiny gentleman eagerly ran the gift to his rat friend, stopping only once to taste the fried dough before making the delivery. Ah, isn't that lovely? It's wholesome, you see. The AI gamer. See, romance is not dead. Even rats have got it. The notoriously aggressive otter who attacked surfers in California gives birth to an adorable pup. So now all of a sudden we realise why it was being aggressive. Because from underwater it looks like a seal, doesn't it, a surfboard? A notorious aggressive otter known for attacking surfers by chomping on their surfboards has given birth to an adorable new pup. Otter 841. I mean, come on. At the very least you could call it Jaws. Was caught by a photographer while swimming around Santa Cruz, California with her new pup on her chest. The otter was known to attack surfers and biting their boards. Well, yeah, it was obviously protecting its area, knowing it was pregnant and about to give birth to a little baby. Aww, he's a baby, she's a baby. Barbaric Russia executing retreating soldiers in Ukraine, White House says. Not Ukraine soldiers. Barbaric Russian military commanders are executing their own own soldiers who refuse to follow orders and threatening entire units with death if they try to retreat from fighting in Ukraine. The Biden administration has said that White House National Security Council spokesman told reporters that the US has intelligence that insubordinate troops are being put to death, which is exactly what we did in World War One. If the troops wouldn't go over the trenches to face certain death, they would be shot in the trench by their commander. And it's horrific to think that that's still going on today. But I mean, it's Russian troops. What do we expect? What an utterly lovely story. Yeah, we're talking about the ottery, not the Russians. Oh, ad. Gone. Married man allegedly tried to hire a prostitute for a threesome with him and his miniature horse. Uzanelli. A married Washington state man has been busted for allegedly offering to pony up for a prostitute for a threesome with him and his miniature horse. Jad Shipman, 48, ran afoul of the law of the law for allegedly offering an online escort $440 to come to his Longview home and have sexual contact with him and his miniature horse. What's possibly wrong with that? Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Anyway, that is it for America. Hang on. Now, breaking news. Biden repeats same story word for word, just minutes apart, raising fresh concerns about age and fitness for office. Who knew? But that is now it for America. La 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 America, we're leaving America, we're going to Australia. Don't worry, there's lots of news in the finally section. Oh, come on. I want that bit. I want that one. There you go. So meanwhile, down under sport. Did you know that the Sydney Opera Ass is had a birthday, a big birthday. It's its 50th anniversary of being built, hence its 50th anniversary. I just say this stuff. It's me, Boris. I'm just here on GB News, and I'm going to talk about this, one and the other, and you'll say I'm rubbish at this, and I'll be like, well, I'm better at this than I was as Prime Minister. Although I'm still glad I voted for him and not Corbyn. Anyway, as the Sydney Opera House's 50th anniversary celebrations come to an end, here's what the iconic building could have looked like. But wait, there's more. That's one. That's another one, which is horrendous. I'll be honest with you. The first one wasn't too bad. There's that one, which is horrendous. But 50 years ago, that's very 70s, isn't it? Then there's that one, which is horrendous. And then there's this one, which is basically, what the hell is that? It's horrendous. And then there's this one, which is horrendous. So thank God they chose the one they chose. The one with all the nuns look like they're in a scrum. Lovely. Arnott's to launch gluten-free Tim Tams. Get in. Get in. Gluten-free Tim Tams are hitting the stores across the country very soon, with some lucky Tasmanians already able to get their hands on the latest version of the iconic Aussie Chucky biscuits. I've never had a Tim Tam. Apparently they're the ones that you can drink through, isn't it? I've got something in my eye, it's really annoying me. Yeah. No, they're not changing it. That's what it could have looked like. The Sydney Opera House. Those were the options that they got, and they chose the one with all the nuns in a scrum, which I think is brilliant compared to the other ones. Anyway, it was a no-brainer, wasn't it? Now, I know T will be upset by this as well. Hi, T. Lewis Hamilton was disqualified from the US Grand Prix. As was Charles Leclerc, after irregularities were spotted in their cars during an inspection. Hamilton had claimed second place while Leclerc crossed the line in sixth. Both of them got disqualified completely, so they didn't place anywhere. I feel sorry for Leclerc because I like Leclerc. He seems a nice guy, but Hamilton. Cheers, Halloween. Medibank to trial 4-day work week in an attempt to improve health and well-being in the workplace. Hamilton needs to leave now. He's all washed up. Oh, Christ. Yeah, quit while you're ahead is always the way, isn't it? The experiment will embrace the 10-80-10 model, which will allow employees to retain 100% of their pay while reducing their hours to 80% and maintaining 100% productivity. So that's what 180-10 stands for. So yeah, they get the full pay, but they only work 80% of the hours. So basically, if you work 5 days, you only work 4 days, but you have to complete the same amount of work, i.e. you have to do the same stuff. Otherwise, you don't go on it. Long live Lewis. Oh, shut up. Yeah, I don't want him dead, actually, thinking about it. I don't want him dead. Just don't want him in my life. World's oldest dog passes away. The world's oldest dog, Bobby, has died in Portugal at the age of 31 years and 165 days. Bobby broke the World Guinness record on February the 2nd of this year and celebrated with hundreds of his fans. Yeah, it's my birthday, I'm the oldest dog in the world, and yay, look at all these people who love me. No, they're like, for God's sake, like old people at old people's home when they're 150, and they're like that in the chair, and they're saying, and are you, and they're like, I wish I was dead. But no, what's kept me alive for so long is drinking Guinness every Saturday while doing a live a YouTube broadcast. Took that to a whole new level, didn't I? Ah, God's sake. Oh, it's cold. That's embarrassing. I've wet myself. Oh, I'll tell you what, you know, this, you can't knock this show. It does go from one extreme to the other. I'm not going anywhere, Silence. You can stay where you are, it's fine. I'm just getting that, now coming back. Ah. Anyway, as I was saying, oh, does it show up on my thing? Oh yes, it does. Brilliant. That's what we like. Yeah, that wasn't actually intended. That was not deliberate. That was... Oh, God. I say, it goes from one extreme to the other, doesn't it? Warning, 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 Trump, warning, Trump, warning. I don't mind being Nelson Mandela because I'm doing it for a reason, says Donald Trump. Donald Trump has compared himself to Nelson Mandela, the Nobel Peace Prize winning anti-apartheid activist, as he continues to rally against the numerous criminal charges against him. I must admit, whenever I look at Donald Trump, I think, you know what? There goes a white, orange version of Nelson Mandela. Muncie Elders Flying Circus, thank you. Warning, warning, warning. People stood to attention. Oh, Biden, there you go. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his partner, Jodie Hayden, have been welcomed to Washington with a lavish state dinner in their honour. The Australian PM and US President held a press conference earlier in the day during which they reiterated the importance of the Australian-United States alliance. Who knew? Who knew? And finally, not even in Australia, but still a place I've seen this rather spectacular sculpture. I mean, look at that, it's amazing, isn't it? A recent discovery of a 200,000 years. A recent discovery of a 2,700-year-old winged bull, a Lamassus statue in Mesopotamia is capturing global attention. Efforts from French and Iraq archaeologists managed to excavate the artifact with its original colours still intact. The 10-ton sculpture is believed to be from ancient Assyrian civilization, standing 3 metres tall and crafted from white limestone. And even though they put a bloody banner over where its head would be, its head's obviously not there. That is a pretty amazing sculpture, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's obviously based on my body, because it's very muscular and covered in water, Guinness. And that's it for Australia. And the bit that I started doing as a bit of a joke has now become the bit that's got the most in it. And that is the and finally bit. Now, the and finally bit is the bit where I look at various different things from around the world, and that make me go, or oh, or or so yeah, here we go. Random stuff. Oh, wrong one. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. We'll start off with the Banksy, because I like a Banksy. As regulars will know, I went to see the Banksy exhibition when it was in Salford, Keys, and I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. A lot of people said it was overpriced, but I thought it was really good, and I enjoyed it considerably. Problem I'm getting now: a halt for slapheads for the first time ever as boffins discover baldness genes. Scientists examined the genetics of more than 70,000 men before finding some DNA variants that they have now linked to male pattern baldness for the first time ever. Yeah, everyone in my family, male, that I'm aware of, were bald before they were 30. I'm nearly double that, and I've still got some hair. Although, if I've got like that, you can see it's thinning, but still not bad, is it? Like, no, to everyone else. Cups of tea? What? A cup a day keeps the doctor away and makes you stronger in old age. Well, I'm screwed then, aren't I? Because I can't drink tea. Um, Researchers say drinking coffee and tea at middle age can lead to reduced likelihood of frailty in late life. Caffeine is the key, and those who drank 4 cups of coffee a day did the bestest. I lost my hair in prison. You're a wrong un, you. Storm Bernard, one of 4, coming to batter UK with 13 more days of rain. 4 more Atlantic storms are expected to follow Storm Babette, meaning we are likely to see 13 straight days of rain lasting until after Halloween, starting with Storm Bernard tomorrow. Now, Storm Bernard, I never heard him be mentioned again after that. Genes, yeah, spelled with a G. Brits don't know their Venus from Uranus. 20%. What? 20% thinks the Earth orbits the moon. Sorry. I'm sorry. That can't be right. I really must read these more properly before I do them, so I don't... my bald patch getting worse. Yeah, they don't normally get better, to be fair, unless you're Wayne Rooney. It was hilarious because Wayne Rooney was the cover star of FIFA for a while in the late noughties and the early teens, and you see his hair going further and further back, and then it's like back at the front again because he had his hair transplant. It always makes me laugh. The other problem is that the balding then carries on past where he'd had the hair transplant, so he ends up with this weird on the top of his head, so he has to have more hair transplants. Some people think the world revolves around them. Oh, brilliant, Luke. Yes, absolutely. Researchers have discovered that many Brits have very little idea about anything to do with space. Nearly 2/3 have no idea how many planets are in the solar system. Anyway, moving on. Swiftly, very swiftly. Come on. There we go. Blokes brawling in Storm Babette floodwater dubbed most British thing ever. Footage of 2 blokes. Blokes? Who uses that word anymore? Well, the Daily Star. While the family tried to move scared children to safety and cars float down the road, has been dubbed peak United Kingdom behaviour. He's a shocker. This story is going to absolutely blow your minds. I hope you're ready for this, because this story is, it's life-changing. I think most people don't know what planet they're on nowadays. Very good, Matt. We've got some good jokes coming through today. Eerie orphan child star unrecognisable 14 years after starring in cult horror. Child star unrecognisable 14 years later. No! Really? How does that happen? I don't know. Another storm, I think it's called Winter. True thuggish country. Yeah, but it's in a flood while cars go floating past. I mean, come on. That fight must have been amazing to watch. Isabel Fuhrman stunned horror fans with her eerie performance as Esther in the 2009 horror Orphan, but the actress is now all grown up and looks very different in her real life. No shit, Sherlock. A child star looks different 14 years later. Oh, Flying Scotsman of Yorkshire. Boris Johnson, you're seriously joining GB News. Remember to put your clock back and keep warm. Yes, we've already covered Boris Johnson, bumbling Boris. By the way, it's me, Boris. I'm on the TV now doing a TV show on GB News, and I'm going to be talking about things that are very important to people around the world, but mainly me. It's a way of contacting my children, all 15,412 of them. But yeah, child star looks different 14 years after she was in a movie. I mean, I would imagine, looking at, I've never seen the movie, but I would imagine she looks different from the first scene than she does from the last scene, because at a certain age you change very quickly indeed. I got the new Saw 10 film to watch, saving it for Halloween. That's a good idea. Barge in charge of the parties, yeah. He'll be doing the Christmas show, won't he? Bloke, again. A bloke claims he chopped up and incinerated Loch Ness Monster's rotting carcass, because that's what you do, innit? The Loch Ness Monster could be in fact dead and has potentially been that way for quite some time, according to a Freedom of Information request sent to Inverclyde Council. So right, for years and 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 years, people have been saying there's a monster in Loch Ness. And despite the upgrades in technology, the photos we've looked at recently are all shit. But now there's a guy saying that he found the rotting corpse of it, so he chopped it up and burnt it. Now, if you found the rotting corpse of the Loch Ness Monster, wouldn't you tell people about it and become world famous and then travel the world and become very rich from it? You wouldn't chop it up and burn it. Ridiculous. It's like a thing Boris would do. October named the wettest month in British history after Storm Babette destruction. October could be the wettest month in UK history, with Storm Babette bringing nearly 200 millimetres of rainfall so far, and it might be enough to wash out previous records. I see what you did there. 200 millimetres is 20 centimetres, which is, how many inches is that? It's about 10 inches, isn't it? Which would be, yeah, which is about that big. It's about 10 inches, isn't it? That's what I think it is, anyway. So yeah, it's a lot of rain. It's got to be said, and it has been very wet. But naming storms, I don't think helps anyone particularly. Here we go. We're now on the conspiracy spiral that is Putin dead? Da 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 da. Is Boris Putin dead? No, he's not Boris Putin, is he? What's he called? Vladimir. Sickly Putin resuscitated after cardiac arrest following health rumours. Vladimir Putin's health has been a constant source of speculation since he moved his army into Ukraine in February 22, kicking off the brutal invasion that has claimed the lives of thousands of people. War criminal. Tutankhamun's baby face reconstruction as modern man moves viewers to tears. Tutankhamun has been reimagined for the modern world, taking into account an ill-forgotten bout of malaria and an overbite the Antipodean pharaoh suffered from during his short reign. So there you go. There is the beauty that is Tutankhamun. I mean, oh, and people have been moved to tears by it. Yeah, because we're watching him on Strictly Come Dancing, aren't we? Are we? Well, I don't know. Anyways. Screams as boy savaged by pumped up dog while with neighbours charged with brooms. The boy was set upon by the aggressive animal as he rode his bike. Neighbours rushed to his defence before he was taken to hospital with life-changing injuries. Not saying what kind of dog it is, but you never hear of cats attacking people, do you? Russian recruits bedbugs in hybrid war on the West, security bosses claim. Russia has reportedly added bedbugs to its roster of combat animals, weaponising the itchy critters by allegedly pumping out a series of fake news articles to scare the West. So basically all the stories you've heard about the bedbugs is all fake, and it's all from Russia. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, it gets worse, Wrongham. Oh, it gets a lot worse. Godfather of AI warns robots not yet safe and could wreak havoc on society. The godfathers of artificial intelligence have slammed utterly reckless tech giants ignoring the dangers of robots, and boffins say there are stricter rules for sandwich shops than potentially powerful robots. So we could be destroyed yet by robots. Mind you, we've still got Putin, Netanyahu and whoever else is trying to destroy us. Xi Jinping. Yeah. Unusual faces in river unveiled by drought as experts wonder what they mean. A drought in the Amazon has revealed some engravings thought to be up to 2,000 years old, but archaeologists are rushing to catalogue them before the water returns. Well, I can save you the effort. The Cybermen. End of. You can see the one over the word unveiled has got the bit that goes over the head, and the one above him has got the bit that goes round underneath. Cybermen. That's what they are. Cybermen are real. You know I'm right. You can't argue with fact. The camera never lies. Unless you buy Google Pixel 8, where you can actually change everything. I mean, that's not going to help anyone, is it? Yeah, there's a picture of him committing this crime, and you can just do it. They are warning about the dangers of AI, absolutely. World on verge of space war as Russian satellite shows sign of aggression. Also sign up going, we don't like you very much. My dentist is trying to destroy me, and I've never met him, her. I don't know about Putin. Okay. Russia has been seen parking a satellite next to Western one in an aggressive manner, with United States space officials calling it out as something to be worried about. I mean, how do you park a satellite next to another satellite in an aggressive manner? I just don't understand space things. Maybe it's the robots. They're already taking over. Super fog sparks 158 car pile-up as drivers smash into each other for 30 minutes. And 158 car crash up. 158 car pile-up that left 7 dead and 25 injured, with burnt cars left littering the Interstate 55 in New Orleans, has been blamed on super fog created by nearby marsh fires and thick fog. Yeah, and again, take you back to, if all those cars were electric, they'd still be burning now. Think about it. Putin, warning. Vladimir Putin in stable but serious condition, with doctors not optimistic. It has been claimed by an alleged Kremlin source that Vladimir Putin suffered a horrific heart attack overnight, and doctors are now not optimistic about the Russian leader's health. Salt mines, 2 salt mines, 3 salt mines, 5 salt mines. Who knows how many salt mines we need for this, but yeah. I'm having 1 million square miles and putting it in front of it. Oh, yes. Lad passes out on holiday, then pals arrive to find monkey violating him on bed. Some laugh. Be warning, sexually explicit content. A lad neglected to close the windows to his room before passing out asleep and got more than a shock when he woke up. So much so that he got the first flight back to the UK. Basically, for what I can make out of it, the monkey was, for some bizarre reason, pleasuring him. I mean, I don't know what a monkey would get out of that, but anyway. But just to clarify, this is a monkey, not the monkey that performed the act, we assume. But they've got a picture of a monkey with a phallic banana in its hand. I mean, come on. Talk about framing, literally. What goes on tour stays on tour. Yeah, it doesn't though, does it? It's all over the press. Now it's been on, what a week that was. Funny stuff again. 4 years ago, Sebastian Vettel broke his suspension in the USA Grand Prix. Basically, exactly looking like Speed McQueen or whatever he's called from Cars. Banksy. An image paints 1,000 words. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says he'd be a great president and White House needs young blood. How old is he? He used to live in Wigan, you know. He used to live in Kit Green. He used to live around here. Unbelievable. Arnold Schwarzenegger said he would make a great president of the US despite not being legally able to take the role, as the Australian oak is not a natural born citizen. So you can be a governor, etc., but you can't be an actual president of the United States of America, which is probably a good thing. Because who wants him as president anyway? A naked river swimmer spotted touching himself after getting trolled on booze. No monkeys involved, just to clarify. Gary Ashby was found guilty of outraging public decency after the boozed up man wandered into a river and began touching himself in public while staring in the direction of a teenage girl. He should be put in prison. Sorry, I know you're drunk and all that, but there's no excuse for that. A Transformer style robot that lets you climb inside the cockpit is yours for only £2.2 million. The weird contraption that is Japanese makers say something lots of us want is already in production, although it takes up to 16 months for orders to be delivered. I mean, how the hell, where would you put it? I mean, I can imagine it's quite big, but if you've got 2.2 million to spend on that, then you've probably got money to put it somewhere, maybe, I don't know. NASA boffins suffer massive fail as they can't get the lid off the asteroid sample box, which might save humanity, because we've got so much stuff going on trying to destroy humanity, that there's something probably in there that's trying to destroy humanity as well. But the Orisis Rex capsule brought samples from Bennu back to Earth last month, but it has now been emerged that the top NASA boffins can't get into it to get more samples, so they've just got a few scrapings off the top, but they can't actually get into the bit that's got the majority of the stuff in it. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I just hope they dispose of it carefully, maybe send it back up into space or something. A pilot who tried to turn off planes' engines and kill everyone was on shrooms. Pilot Joseph Emerson, who is facing 83 counts of attempted murder for allegedly trying to shut down a plane's engines, told officers he'd taken magic mushrooms 48 hours before. Surely to God there should be drug tests for people before they get in a cockpit of an aeroplane. Identify as an alien and paint myself blue. I think I'm human by accident. No, you're not. You're something, but you're not human by accident. Putin's body double running the country as real Vlad too ill to take charge. Rumours persist over the health of Russian President Vladimir Putin, with Kremlin insider claiming that he suffered a heart attack and is now no longer able to run the country. True or not? Warning, 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 warning. Weird ghost thing. Warning, boob alert. Warning. Racing model shows boobs for racy Halloween look and fans beg to be haunted. Busty model Zara Rose and Elena Gzonia left fans begging to be haunted by them after they become bedsheet ghosts with boobs for eyes to celebrate Halloween this year. Ah, isn't that nice? That's sweet, isn't it? Nearly as sweet as this doll. Oh, no, maybe not. Haunted doll terrifies woman who sees items knocked over with dog scared. A woman believes a haunted doll she took home has caused paranormal activity in her house, including items being knocked over and eerie footsteps. And she even reckons she's seen the toy blink. They all can blink when you lie them back because they have that thing in their eyes that go like that. It's not Chucky. It's not. It's a real doll, but it's. I'm a real doll. Now remember this person saying they were an alien. I'm like, no, BS. No, that's because we've actually got a real alien here. Here we go. NASA's search for alien life on a highly radioactive moon 90% the size of Earth. NASA is launching a mission to the second most radioactive part of the solar system after only the Sun itself, hoping to find alien life after identifying an ocean world. And that's an artist's impression what the alien will look like. And if we have a look, oh my God, it's the same person. That is unbelievable, uncanny. She wasn't lying after all. Putin alert, Putin alert, Putin alert. Putin's docs claim miracle won't happen and prepping loved ones for the worst. Does anyone love Putin? I mean, literally anyone. Russian President Vladimir Putin is either dead, dying, or seriously ill, or on the verge of death. And his doctors are now preparing his loved ones for the worst possible outcome. He's going to survive. Too soon. It's Banksy Archive. There you go. Nice little cat with a pink ribbon on in a war zone. Lovely. And a kid trying to kill herself by eating some live electric cable. Oh no, she's safe because the Israelis have cut the electric off. Brazen woman tests out sex toy at shop counter in front of horrified customers. If you're buying a car or a new couch, you might want to test it out before you make the purchase. But one woman took things too far when she tried out a sex toy in the middle of a shop. I assume she made it vibrate on her hand or something. Pray to God that's all she did. I'm an exorcist. You should never play spooky game on Halloween. No, you're not, because I've seen you on the TV. You're an absolute prat. And I'll be honest with you, ghosts don't exist. So, overweight Chechen warlord with disease of his own is set for dying Putin's job. Top security expert Professor Anthony Glees has claimed that there are two possible replacements for Vladimir Putin, one of which is an overweight warlord. The other one's dead because he died in a plane crash. Rather ironically. Oh look, I'm 104 years old, you should drink Guinness and avoid marriage for a long life. Well, I've avoided marriage twice and I drink Guinness, so I'm going to live to be 109. Sorry, I was doing an impression of Vladimir Putin then. Oh, and I didn't spill it on myself this time. I've ruined this shit. Kathleen Hemmings, who lives at Care UK's Sandsfield on St George's Road, Cheltenham, if you ever want to go visit her, celebrated her 104th birthday recently. She gave her secrets of living a long life. Don't get married, I agree with that. And drink Guinness. There you go then. What was that Akora bloke that was on telly years ago? Ghost Hunter. It was Most Haunted. Most Haunted. And the best thing that he ever come up with was he was possessed. I think it was in Blackpool or somewhere, or Morecambe. And he was possessed. And there was this woman called Mary. And the love of her life was Richard. And he's possessed and he's going, Mary loves Dick. 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 It was hilarious. Because obviously Dick is a shortened version of Richard. I'm not going to be able to make money from this video, am I? Not that I ever do anyway. Don't get enough views. But yeah, Mary loves Dick, Derek Okora. He's dead now. Yeah, she doesn't eat quad burgers. I don't eat quad burgers every day. And I bet she's had a... I nearly said something. I'll refer you to my previous statement. I'm sure that she does as well. My mum bought a gun on Saturday. On Monday I shot my teacher with it. Well, there you go then. Every lad gets what he wants for Christmas. Yeah, he died a while ago, and ironically, he's not been able to contact Yvette Fielding about it. Who knew? That's because skulls don't exist. A super rare mega asteroid, twice as big as Burj Khalifa, who's she, to crash into Earth orbit. Is she the singer who got in trouble for fat shaming her backing singers? Burj Khalifa. Anyway, this asteroid is twice the size of her, apparently. They've dubbed the giant asteroid 363505, bracket 2003, UC20, close bracket, which is twice as big as the world's tallest building. Oh, okay then, sorry. It's not that singer. And it's set to crash into Earth's orbit in just a few days' time. So that might kill us. Nothing else kills us. Someone up there is definitely trying to finish off humanity. Right, we'll try wars. Didn't work. We'll try COVID. Didn't work. We'll try more wars all over the place. Doesn't work. We'll send an asteroid. It blew up. Oh yeah. Let's have a bit of fun, shall we? Viz, always good for a laugh. They say chocolate is poisonous for dogs. Now, I may not be a dog, but I regularly eat chocolate and it's never done me any harm. Genius. Space warfare grows as Israel admits we are interested in space weapons. Why? The people you're at war against, Israel, are literally next door to you. I mean, literally. You surround them. Literally surround them, apart from that bit where Egypt is. Why the hell do you need space weapons? I think Israel's government needs to be brought under control. Oh, wrong one. A gimp suit creep found guilty of being gimp after telling cops, "I am not a gimp." I'm not a gimp, pleads West Country creep who gave female motorists late night panic attacks and made them think they were on the brink of being kidnapped. Well, did they go to a festival in Israel? No, it's gimps. Something I don't really get. As I think I've said before, there was a gimp who came into when I worked at Asda, second mention of Wicked Asda at night, about 2:30 in the morning. A gimp came in with a mistress, and she was in high heels, skin tight, plastic suit thing on, with a lead. He was naked apart from a nappy and a little hat and a lead round his neck and a collar, and I think he had a little hat. And he was on his hands and knees walking around the shop and stuff. Kind of thing I do. Okay. And but I just don't see the appeal to it, but maybe, it's me, I wear tight t-shirts because I think it's funny. Some people wear them because they think they look sexy. Vladimir Putin dead. Oh no. Rumours intensifies. Kremlin cancels major public appearance. Well, if he's unwell, they are going to cancel major public appearances, aren't they? But anyway, mystery surrounds the truth behind Russian President Vladimir Putin's health after the Kremlin denied he was dead. But a major public appearance has now been cancelled, casting doubt on the denial. No, just because they cancel it doesn't mean he's dead. I mean, we can live in hope, but it doesn't mean he is. I was captured by the Taliban, but nothing as bad as... I spoil that as well. I was captured by the Taliban, but nothing is as bad as living in Birmingham. Brum native Lord Miles Routledge, 23, was captured by the Taliban and released only recently, but he said he'd rather be in the hands of the terror group than live in Birmingham. Which I think is cruel, because I lived in Birmingham in 1990 for about 6 months when I was a manager of a shop in the old Bullring Centre. And I thought Birmingham was quite nice. Well, it wasn't very nice, it was quite nice. Students demand glory holes on campus to create positive working environments. They've obviously never seen Porky's. That's all I'm saying. I did have an incident with a glory hole, not the way you're thinking. Where I was in desperate need of a toilet. I mean desperate, urgent, explosive need for a toilet. And I was in a supermarket I was unfamiliar with, in a town I was unfamiliar with, and I ran in, sat down, and I literally pebble dashed the entire cubicle. It felt like it anyway. At which point I noticed a face through a hole that big, looking at me, going, "Can you show me your doodah when you're finished, please?" And I went, "Off, you pervert." And he went, "Oh, go on." And I went, "No, off." And then I remembered that I'd pebble dashed everywhere. So I did him the honour of standing up, but put my bum towards him, my pebble dash bum, and all I heard was, "Ugh!" And then the door opened next door and the door shut. Win. But yeah, glory holes. Why? I mean, if you know who's on the other side, or you know that whoever's on the other side isn't some kind of weirdo with a chainsaw or a bread knife or a hammer, then maybe, I don't know, it's not my thing again. But you wouldn't just do it, dare I say, willy-nilly. You wouldn't just, through the hole and hope for the best. Anyway, got more things to worry about. So, COVID didn't work. The wars haven't worked so far. Meteorite hasn't worked. How's about a virus that makes you blind to rid humanity? Deadly eye-bleeding virus making its way to the UK as it sweeps through France. Now, is it like the bed bugs? Is it made up by the Ruskies? Or is it a real thing? A virus that makes your eyes bleed and claims lives of around 40% of the people that it infects has been detected for the first time in France, and scientists fear it could soon make its way to the UK. Now, how do you catch a virus like that? Do you have to rub eyes together? Because if we do, I think I'm safe from that one. But yeah, the planet is definitely trying to get rid of humanity. A UFO flying perfectly straight with aurora around it seen outside plane window. By aurora, you mean Photoshop. Next. Banksy, cheer us all up. I don't believe in global... To be fair, I don't believe in global warming as such. 2 tanks of bull semen stolen as farmers warn you don't mess around with it. 2 vats containing a large quantity of ice-cold bull semen have been taken from a farm in Ireland, with farmers stressing the bodily fluids are valuable. Ireland. Cheap Guinness. And it's probably the makers of Monster, to be fair. They've nicked it. Because it's got bull semen in it, hasn't it? I'm definitely not getting monetised on this video. Oh, we're nearly at the end though. That's the good news, folks. 2 hours in. Sorry, mate. I can't do that. It's just too crude. I hope your son. Sorry, mate. I can't let that in. It's just too crude. I hope you understand. Alright, I've just realised that I've been missing out on loads of chat, and also realised I've just reset it now so I don't get to see everyone's chat. But anyway, yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about this. If you agree or disagree with me, it doesn't really matter. Britain braced with fresh deluge, easy for me to say, with 70-mile-an-hour winds and 4 inches of rain. 4 inches of rain. So we've gone from millimetres to inches now. So 4 inches of rain would be about that much. Because if that's 10 inches, that's going to be 4 inches, isn't it? Because that's definitely 10 inches. So that's definitely 4 inches. So we're going to get that much rain. No. We're going to get that much rain. Glory on. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? It is raining though. And then finally, Noah's Ark found after experts discover 5,000-year-old boat-shaped mound. They've just found the set from the movie. Jesus. Kremlin issue major clue. Putin has already died following health decline. Professor Anthony Glees, you know, that expert that no one's ever heard of, believes that Russian leader Vladimir Putin may already be dead, following months of speculation over his health, adding there are 2 candidates likely to take over. Candace Owen, Meghan Markle, Prince Harry should move to Canada. Their stock has degraded. So basically, America don't want them anymore either. So we don't want them. America don't want them. Candace Owen, as suggested, I mean, I don't know that she is. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle to pack up and move to Canada. The Conservative commentator, that's who she is, said that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stock has degraded, adding that the US and the UK has simply had enough. I'm a big believer that this issue can only be solved if they agree to move to Canada, she told GB News. Oh, well, there you go then. Yeah, we covered Eminem dying last week, and it's an android that's Eminem now, which sent me on a spout of talking in like making myself not can swear all the time, because if I do swear all the time, then you get demonetized for that video, and I'm like not doing that. But Eminem when he sings his songs live, he gins what's the word? And he said he isolates them, but it's not censors. He can self-censors it himself, and it works really well. So I do that all in time, and I was doing this when we were talking about him last week because I thought it was funny. But anyway, there you go. So that is it for the news. We'll go back to breaking news and see if any more news has broken while we've been on air. But first, I think you might get a commercial broke. I'm not sure though. Let's have a look. Where's that thing gone? Oh, poo, hang on. Oh, no. Oh, mouse has died. Hang on. There we go. Oh! You got an habit then. Sorry. Yeah, I think I was here last week. Heard it. Yeah. It makes me mad. It does. I'm being dead. Me. Right then. Boots store closures. Boots to shut stores within days. None around here, so I don't care. Pretty little UK town with quickie name. Dubbed a bucket list destination. I would click on it, but I'm not really that interested. F1 Mexico Grand Prix qualifying start time. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow. What's that? Alright, okay. Symptoms of long COVID explained. Taxation is not a burden. It's Brexit that weighs Britain down. Says who? It looks like it's that stupid Mayor of London. Tory MP calls from probe into Barclays Telegraph Gulf funding. How older people will be hit hardest by the clocks going back. Don't forget the clock's going back, so it'll be dark at 5:30. UK Wi-Fi warning. Virgin Media reveals simple mistakes that kill your broadband speeds. Yeah, get a Virgin box. Kate Middleton's brother James announces names of his firstborn. That's nice. Won't tell you what it is because it's clickbait. Former SNP leadership candidate defects to become. Oh, I clicked on it. Oh, poo. Alba's first MSP. Who's Alba? Oh, it's the True Scottish People's Party. Bit like the Plaid Cymru in Wales. The boss of Tesco says he's stepping down next year. Oops, what's that? Here's to tell if you've been struck down by COVID or the flu. Well, I know I had COVID now a few weeks ago because my taste went mental. Now, when I had COVID first time round, which was in the February, before the taste thing was a thing as a symptom. See, I told you I was going bald. I lost all my taste and smell and everything, but the last time I was ill, you know, when I did the what a week that was in about 38 minutes and then went straight to bed and didn't wake up for 12 hours, 13 hours. My taste was amazing. I could taste every grain of salt in everything I ate. It was bonkers. So I think that was the COVID thing, but I'm not looking at it because I've just clicked on that and it's completely messed everything up. If it helps to bring awareness, I'm all for it. Ken Bruce says he hopes his MBE shines light on autism after receiving the award. Has he got autism? We've all got autism. Let's be honest. I'm definitely on the spectrum somewhere. Netanyahu declares a second war of independence as fears for Gazans grow. Yeah, I mean, going back to the Gazan war, as I said a couple of weeks ago when it first kicked off, it feels like Netanyahu had an idea something was going to happen, let it happen, so it gave him the excuse to go in and completely destroy Gaza so that he could then have it for himself. And I still think that's what he's doing. And he's still a war criminal, no matter what. Protesters celebrating seeing off hotel plan to house migrants. So, yeah, they've won a thing somewhere. Fatigue could be caused by COVID. Yep, that's correct. Elon Musk calls SNP leader Hassan Yusuf a blatant racist. Wow. Ordinary looking brick wall has incredible secret where you can't see it, so there's no point. Has COVID peaked? Nope. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. I can't see anything right, by the way, so I'll come back to them in a minute. Someone came red card. Why was New Zealand star sent off? Don't care. Scotland's First Minister doesn't know his in-laws in Gaza are alive or dead. Police suggest suicide note found during such. Police suggest suicide note was found during search for suspect in main mass shooting. Alright, okay. That makes sense now. People have spent 8 years searching for England's buried elephants. What? Teenage girl allegedly attacked by Iranian morality police has died for not wearing the hijab in Iran. Andrew Neil, the era of cheap money is over and no longer will politicians on the left or the right be able to promise us the moon. Well, we know that, which is why Labour are just doing my nutting, which is why I won't vote for them. Ukrainian drone crashes into nuclear plant as Russian threatens serious retaliation. What more can Russian do? Jesus Christ. Jeremy Huntsell, job safe until at least spring 2024 budget. To be fair, I mean, I can't stand the guy, but he's doing a decent job considering all the crap going on. So I'll give him that. Shut up and go homeless, Harry. No adverts. Angela's having mood swings. I use Brave browser. No adverts. Bookmark YouTube. Happy camper. I use Brave as well, to be fair. But obviously I don't get adverts on my own thing. That'd be weird. But adverts pay for this to happen. So it needs some adverts. So maybe occasionally just watch a video or something else where I can, at least get an advert so I get at least a tenth of a penny. Anyway, that is it for this exciting episode of What a Week That Was, where we were ranting, we were laughing, I was spilling Guinness all over myself. Was it dried? Has it dried? Can you see if it's dried or not? Yeah, it's dried. I need to wash this though, obviously, because I've completely stinking Guinness. But anyway, give a big shout out to everyone who's been watching. We've had, how long have we been on for? 2 hours and 6 minutes. So we've got 10 people watching at the moment. So hi everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and go all the way back. In this episode I've talked about Putin dying or not. I've talked about war crimes committed by Israel. I've not defended Hamas in any way, shape or form. In fact, I think they should be annihilated off the face of the planet. But there are better ways of doing it than killing and starving and dehydrating innocent Palestinian children and families. We've looked at politics in America. We've looked at gun crime. We've looked at everything else. So yeah, go back and have a look. I do this every week, UK time at 8 o'clock, which next week will be still at 8 o'clock. But if you're living in America or somewhere else and you watch this, it's going to be an hour later because the British clocks go back tonight. Don't forget, you get an extra hour in bed. Not that ever works, but yeah, you get an extra hour in bed. But it doesn't work, so don't worry about it. Alan Barton, thank you. Rongan, thank you. Matt Francis, thank you. Angela, thank you. Luke Williams, thank you for joining in the chat. The cat's getting excited because she knows we're near the end of the broadcast, and she comes over for a little stroke once we finish. Flying Scotsman of Yorkshire, very brief visit, but thank you. T, thank you as well. I know you're there. Oh, what's happened? Oh, it's just jumped massively. What the hell? All right, okay. I'll watch adverts for you, sir. Thank you, Hamilton, Cave and Lewis as well. Brilliant as usual. Thank you, Angela. Encore. Come on, encore. What do you want me to do? Pour the rest of the Guinness over my head? Please join us on Tuesday for a road trip. Wigan to Ashton and then Stalybridge to Wigan. Hit the bell, share, subscribe and like. Thank you, Elder, for a brilliant show. Like I say, it's been all over the place. Very serious at times, very stupid at other times, but that's what the news is at the minute. If you can't laugh at yourself and you can't speak candidly about what is going wrong in the world, then what is the point of existing? As I've said before, I'm not anti-Semitic. I am not having a go at Israel for being Israel or being Jewish. I'm having a go at Israel for committing war crimes against innocent Palestinian civilians. As I've said before, and I'll say again, if it was Spain doing this to Portugal, there'd be uproar around the world. But for some reason, the majority of countries around the world, certainly in the West, seem to support Israel blanket bombing innocent people in Palestine. I am not saying that what Hamas did by any way was you can't justify what Hamas did in any way, shape or form, and I am not doing that. All I'm saying is, with the amount of technology that Israel have got because of all the war stuff they've had to put up with, all the wars they've been in over the years, that technology is super fantastic. So why the hell are they blanket bombing innocent people in Gaza and places like that? Because it just baffles me, and it just seems to me that they're using this as an excuse to do something they want to do for a long while. You know, Hamas says that they want to kill every Jewish person on the entire planet, which obviously is completely abhorrent. But it does feel like Netanyahu, or whatever he's called, wants to destroy anyone who isn't Jewish in that area, and that is wrong as well. And like I said, if it was the UK, where I live, if it was England, where I live, sorry, and we were blockading and stopping food, water, electricity, fuel like diesel and whatever going into Scotland because we'd fallen out with them, I would be saying exactly the same thing about the UK. And if we were blanket bombing them, I would be saying we were doing war crimes as well. It's not because of who it is, it's because of what they're doing. Anyway, that is it. I'm in a good old rant. Don't forget, like I said, to like, share and tell people about it. Join us live, join in the chat as well. I've already given a big shout out to everyone. We've got currently 8 viewers, chat rate of 1. We've had 80 views overall. We've had only 5 likes, which is always disappointing. But I am controversial when it comes to this. I got called the polite Josh Rogan once. I'm like, I'm not as bad as him. I mean, I'm polite, but I'm not as bad as him. Average is 13.37. Maximum number of viewers was 13, and that was about 8:45. So it's not a massive show, let's be honest. But people seem to like it, and that's what it's about. So join us again next week, 8 o'clock GMT. It'll be 8 o'clock GMT next week, and join in the chat, and I will see you all again. So yeah, I'll be seeing you. Thanks for watching. Thanks Angela and everyone else, and bye. I think I don't know. I think so. I don't know. Have I gone? This is where it turns into GB News. Because I'm still on a Surgery with a Wicked Wizard. Bye Kim, sorry I missed you. Right, everyone said bye. I'll have to say bye to Kim. Oh, I can do that, can I?